My coach Chad Hartley and I often discuss cyclocross race tactics and plans, but not everyone has the opportunity to work with a successful coach. In this video, I want to help you be a better racer by reviewing our plan for the most important cyclocross event of the year, the Trek Cross Cup. Alright, in the previous video we discussed some basics about understanding a cyclocross course, specifically speed limits and pinch points, so be sure to watch that before watching this video. In this video we're going to discuss a few aspects of what my coach Chad Hartley teaches me about maximizing your strengths and limiting your weaknesses. This essentially means knowing yourself and then comparing yourself with the strengths and weaknesses to others in your field to kind of figure out how to beat them. So I know 90% of you are going to immediately think about fitness first, but one of Chad's repeated phrases come to mind here. It's fitness just brings you to the start line. It's up to you to figure out how to use it. So for me, we're going to talk about how we plan these race tactics around my little extra weight from the criterium racing season. So for the rest of this video, let's look at some examples how to do this. The first thing a bigger rider already knows is that hills are your enemy. So here you can see we're about to get into a hill. But on the Trek course, you can actually plan for this in a weird way. So from the start line to flyover 1, there's a long uphill, as you can see right here. And then we'll eventually get to a long downhill, which you'll see in a second. And that leads to another long uphill. So probably the best tactic my coach told me was to always know where you can strategically rest. And so this is very important for the first sequence, because if you rest going downhill, you can recover enough to hit the uphill to the flyover, the first flyover, very hard. So this is a whole bunch of rest for me. I'm basically doing no power. It's especially easy because my extra weight gives me an advantage for getting up to speed on a downhill faster than the lighter guys. And here you can see, now that I'm rested, I can hit this uphill pretty hard. And this guy on my left is going to go, and I'm going to follow him because I just was pretty well rested. So again, it's especially easy because of my extra weight giving me an advantage for getting up to speed on a downhill faster than the lighter guys. So I'm already going fast for less energy on the downhill, and it takes the lighter guys a lot more effort to go faster when you're already going fast. So here you can see there was a little tack there right up the hill. Another important tactic is just a mental tactic, and it's knowing that the other guys are going to dictate the pace up the hills and that you should just mentally prepare yourself that it's going to hurt and it's going to be hard. So here you can see we're going to go back to strategic rest downhill. And basically this is easier when you know that there's a difference between your comfort limit and your ability limit. I knew I was going to be maximum uncomfortable at the beginning of these hills and through these hills. And I also know that all my training I've done puts me at my ability limit much further than blowing up in the first minutes, right? So I trust that my pain is just really only a comfort limit pain. Here you can see I'm about to go real deep. That was a big spike. Get back up to speed after that strategic rest. So the mental goal on the hills is just to hang on, and you should know that you're going to let a little gap open, but that you can hit them at other sections that are to your advantage where they feel like they are just hanging on. Another key tactic for bigger riders is to keep as much momentum as possible, because it takes us more energy to get up and back to speed than maybe a lighter rider. This usually means taking better lines and going maybe a little slower to set up a turn so that you end up braking less and maintaining speed overall. This also means focusing on the line that causes the best exit speed instead of just going into the corner. So this isn't always what road racers think of being the best line, being outside or wide and then going inside to the apex and then going outside wide out of the corner. Sometimes that means staying wide for longer and apexing the corner late. And in other situations, it just means being in the corner first, right? Just jumping ahead of others before the pinch point. So here are two examples of where I jumped ahead of guys into the pinch point. So we're about to go into Trek Factory Hill. And you can see there's a good amount of riders here, Addison, and as well as Jordan here. And I'm just going to make a little quick jump and pass here. Decent amount of effort, but we're already going kind of downhill. And that puts me in front of two other guys going in the Trek Factory Hill. And if someone messes up, I'm already ahead of them, so I don't have to make an acceleration effort out of that. And here's another example where we're about to go into some corners in a pinch point. And I'm just going to maintain this speed and make a pass here. And that sets me up for this pinch point to be in front of the other guys. And so when I'm accelerating, I can take it at my speed. If he's going to go faster than me into or out of those corners, I can kind of not worry about that because I'm in front and I can take the line, the best line I want, and I can, go as fast as I possibly want through that corner. Finally, weight can be used to your advantage on downhills. So it's a lot easier for me to get a speed differential downhill, so passing or dropping someone there is a really good tactic. To do this, we identified the fastest spot, which is right there, where I could get a few extra miles per hour over the other guys. I would basically set up the turn far left, and then when we hit the right here, shift the weight and maintain that fast speed, maybe jump a little bit of power and keep that speed going. It's also useful to put in a little hard acceleration at the start of a downhill. It just makes you gain a little bit more speed. And that usually puts a lot of pain on other light riders because there's really not much they can do about it. So you can see out of this downhill that I maintain a lot faster speed than Aaron there, and I keep that speed going because I use that downhill to my advantage. So I hope you learned how to use your strengths and limit your weaknesses from this video. In the next one, we're going to put everything together and look at how these tactics played out in a few of the battles throughout the 3-day weekend at Trek Cross Cup. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss them, and thanks for watching.